me back in.
They did. They pulled me right back in. Oh, gee, I don't know how to get rid of that. How strange. Welcome, everyone, to Season 2, Episode 3 of The Truth Table. I'm Paul Everton, the host here, and I have an amazing guest right now, known as the Peace Man. He was in Ottawa at the convoy, the Truckers' Convoy 2022, and he has a lot to tell. He's witnessed a lot of different things, and someone wrote this beautiful song for him, and I wanted to play it before we brought him in. Here, I'll put it on and let you listen to it.
All across Canada, from the east coast to the west, throughout this great land, we're all just doing our best to shine a bright light where corruption takes place, to give freedom its right and give peace a face. It started off slow, then it quickly picked up pace. The people knew it was time to go, and they began to hold space. One man with a beard, he stood with the flag. Not once did he fear, not once did he beg. Doing it to protect our citizens' rights, standing tall and proud in all of his glory. With love and peace, he battles this fight. This is the Peace Man story. Speaking for others who feel small, in each of their differences he found common ground. Trying his best so no one will fall, making his voice heard, his power is loud. What's close to his heart is freedom for all, justice to start, there is no more time to stall. But there is a man who's done all he can to stand up and protect this great land. He is a man who truly understands that citizens are the key. This is the Peace Man story. Doing it to protect our citizens' rights, standing tall and proud in all of his glory. With love and peace, he battles this fight. This is the Peace Man story. Stand for purpose and standing for the fight. Against the corruption, he's never lost sight. What truly matters, he's making it right. In cold blistering winds through the depths of the night. There is a man who's done all he can to stand up and protect this great land. He is a man who truly understands that citizens are the key. This is the Peace Man story, to protect our citizens' rights, standing tall and proud in all glory. With love and peace, he battles this fight. This is the Peace Man story. Taken from us, the powers of humans, and placed into the hands of the few, these are acts of treason. No matter what side you are on or what you believe in, he stood in peace with our flag for this reason. He understands and teaches that everything is connected, while battling the heads of Hydra, the beast. Step one is to teach yourself awareness and reflect it, guiding and preparing all of humanity. But there is a man who's done all he can to stand up and protect this great land. He is a man who truly understands that citizens are the key. This is the Peace Man's proud to protect our citizens' rights, standing tall and proud in all of his glory. With love and peace, he battles this fight. This is the Peace Man story. Understanding that the citizens are the key, meeting people from every corner of the unlocking, illuminating knowledge and the secrets they keep to save our children, humanity, and worth. Oh, Canada, do you see what you see? Oh, Canada, we are the land man's story, a peace man's journey.
What an absolute amazing job they did. So as you can see, I'm very happy to have Dana here. Dana Lee Melfi, welcome to the Truth Table. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me, Paul. This is great. That song is very powerful. You can tell that Leanne has really been paying attention to and putting aside the distractions and getting to what exactly I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the words were really powerful, and the pictures together, and the music was amazing. I really loved the music.
Yeah,
There's two songs, isn't there? Isn't there another song as well?
Cam McMaster did a song that he lets me use in his in any way I wish, he said. So there is a video with that song. I don't know if you have it queued up. I don't have that one queued up right now.
Well, I can certainly do that.
Because that one is really good too.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I can do that a little later if you like.
Yeah.
And we can just continue talking, because I know you have a lot to say. There's a lot that's happened. You've also witnessed a lot of things, and you had some problems with the RCMP, the violations of their policing, and
well, that's what we're going to focus on tonight. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And they refused to take your complaint, which is amazing to me, that they would even consider just dismissing an actual complaint, and justifiable, and but I think that they really showed their true colors, what they're capable of in Ottawa, under orders, what they're willing to do, to just ordinary Canadians.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I come from, Peace Island, right here, and I live right there. So just a regular guy. I was born in Ottawa. I worked for the government since I was 17 years old as a contractor, and then an employee for more than 15 years. And in 2014, I became ill. And when that happened, they did not help me, and neither did the union, Unifor. They instead have fought me and in court for 8 years. So this started long before 2022, of me having to do the first Access to Information and Privacy Act request I did was on myself. And I received boxes of information, because of where I've worked and stuff. When the Justin Trudeau came on to TV and was in a scrum on the 13th of August, 2021, he said that he was going to bring in 2 federal mandates and for COVID vaccination. And I was sitting there watching this live scrum, and I decided, I said, wait a second, June 26, 2021, I recorded it. He said he would never bring in vaccination mandates, and I played them side by side, it just infuriated me. So the first question that came to my mind is, how is this legal? And this is going to be a question that reoccurs as I tell this story, okay? I may occasionally look up, because I have different papers that I'm going to show you on different things that are going to happen. So I apologize if I'm not always looking directly at the camera.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. So when I put in this request, what I did was, because of the legality, before a government program can be instituted, it must be deemed legal. So the place that does that is our Justice Department. And I placed an access to information and privacy to the Justice Department only. I didn't want any documentation from anywhere else, only the DOJ. And this part of the story has a lot to do with what happened before, during, and after the protest. It had nothing to do with a convoy. I was in Ottawa to protest, support the convoy, but I had to do with it. Okay, I didn't know anybody.
Right.
I was watching, and I was watching from within Canada Unity in 2019 what was happening. So I was very aware, and we're going to explain that later. So this ATIP request I put in was directly related to the COVID mandates. And I'm going to read it to you because it's the reason why I was targeted. Okay? Okay, it should be on this page. This is what I asked the DOJ. Very simple. I wanted all the records between 2020 and October 6th, 2021 associated with the legality and legal path of Justin Trudeau's announcements August 13th, 2021, subsequently implementation of these mandates regarding A, COVID-19 vaccinations for federal employees, and B, travel, domestic and international, to and from Canada, not only Canadians. I allowed them to exclude drafts unless it's a final version of a document, publicly available information. I have looked myself. There is no legal argument in the public sphere about the mandates. Correspondence from the public. So if you wrote a letter in and asked about these things, I don't really need that. And records requiring confirmation for cabinet competences. Now, this is a tricky one because if you do not exclude them, they have you up for a long time. Okay. This is very important because this request was done on the 23rd of September. The mandates did not come in to legality until the 8th. So one of the reasons why I was targeted was because of this request. I can go into the whole thing on this request if I wanted to, but right now we're going to focus on the RCMP and why that is an issue. But I'm going to say, if you go to my website and you go to ATIP page, this is all about that ATIP request. and all the documentation and emails with the DOJ, the OIC, which had to do over a 2-year investigation into the DOJ and found them guilty of breaking laws. Remember, the ATIP Act is law. The OIC commissioner's orders are law binding. RCMP are not acting on the final reports, and right now in the House of Commons daily. Okay. So, and this is because there's reports like this that the law, people that we expect to uphold the law, that arrested me for standing merely in peace, would not go after the higher crimes of, like, 366 of the criminal code is under fraud, under document manipulation. By leaving out information to the public, that is a form of document manipulation fraud. When you start to have multiple agencies that are all acting in the same way, that is now conspiracy.
Yep.
So it's not a theory. What I'm going to show you by the end of this story is that they arrested the wrong man. Okay?
Yep. And overreacted.
Simple as that. It's not it's and absolutely the information that is being hidden from the public, even in the EA inquiry, all those blacked out documents are because of other things that are happening in Canada. They may have had reasonable suspicion to enact the EA, but it's not what you think. We are a Five Eyes country. We have to abide by those Five Eyes agreements.
Yep, exactly.
So we will get into that later. The ATIP request that I put in, the OIC put out a final report deeming them law. 2022, I was standing symbolism on the street in front of my parliament in a crosswalk where I'm legal, and I made sure that I remained legal the entire time. Mm-hmm. But before I went, I made a video about exactly what I was going to do, was remain legal all the time. I was going to remain visible. I was going to remain silent. I was standing not in army or outfit or anything like that. I was standing in a bushman's outfit, my grandfather's, as a matter of fact, to symbolize our forefathers that already fought for our rights and freedoms. Okay? I stood with a flag and my peace symbol, which means that all I wanted was dialogue with my government. I was doing it in official capacity as well at the time, and those are the documents I was with.
Yeah, I agree.
Before anybody showed up in Ottawa, everybody was demonized, vilified, attacked, lied about, so that the public could think of it in a different way than it actually was. Now, there are things about the convoy that will come to light, like you said, that maybe is not in the light right now. It may not have been a citizen-led initiative at the beginning, but it certainly and sure as hell did become a citizen movement. And I believe that. And I believe that little actors and crisis actors and they tried to pull and prod Canadians with to act did not work. It didn't work. I was on the I didn't see a lot of these actors out on the street. Okay, I've seen them in hotel rooms and communicating with the police, which I'm going to prove to you were operating illegally in conspiracy with the RCMP.
Yeah, because your arrest was unlawful right from the onset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I made sure, first of all, there is, you see, where I was standing is very, very important, because when you want to do an access to information for, let's say, a video, the everything on, as soon as you cross the line onto the Parliament Hill, is not accessible. It is protected outside of the ATIP, access to information, for security reasons. Everything on the other side of the street at the Privy Council, which has 34 cameras on its building, is outside of the ATIP. But at Wellington and Metcalfe, and also at Bank and Metcalfe, there is a camera that's on the sidewalk that was put there for tourism and public safety, which is within the ATIP Act, run by Ottawa, City of Ottawa. But as we heard the RCMP commissioner say under oath at the EA, we had access to all cameras across Canada concerning the convoy. Okay? The biggest crimes that happened that I seen with my own eyes were from the RCMP and Ottawa Police Service right in front of me on camera. That camera was used in the EA inquiry, by the way, and show you that. Let me just show you something. Okay. On my website page, there is a blog, and one of them is called "The King is Keeping Secret." Okay, this is a very important story because it is an actual tracking of what I was doing, moving, challenge that I put up, being labeled a criminal for 2 years before going to trial. A trial he showed up to, not one meeting, not one court reporter, and I would say just a crisis act. Why it was suppressed, and I tell that story in this page. And I show you the documentation for asking the RCMP for that camera footage, and where I'm denied by the RCMP, they say they do not have such footage. Of course, that's when the meetings were happening. And that's one part of the story, very important. I'm trying to insert the document here. I own the City of Ottawa. City of Ottawa agreed that they have the footage, but it's because somebody else has it in court, but they won't disclose court documents. Very strange. There was a Ryan Alford, actually today is the Supreme Court, wrote this EA, and the paragraph is part of it. It's about secrecy, Willie Road Trust, all those hidden docs that you've seen in the EA because of secrets. Okay. And targeting of Canadian citizens from RCMP and Ottawa Police. The RCMP had a project called Project Natterjack that was going on in Ottawa for the Freedom Convoy. And this Project Natterjack just had a final review just recently. And that review, it made them look like they were so successful in their jobs to restore rights and freedoms and law and order. But that's not what was happening. You will see in the pictures of my arrest, you will see in the pictures of my arrest that I was approached by the green guys in the battalion truck that pulled up. Do you remember that truck? Do you remember seeing that truck, Paul?
I actually do. I do.
The
remember.
Army truck? Okay. Well, that truck was not Army. It was not Ottawa Police. It was RCMP.
No way.
Nobody really knows that.
No way.
Nobody really knows that.
Wow.
And I'm gonna show you how I prove this.
Unbelievable.
But if we look at the pictures of me, let me just see if it's here. Okay. So if we look at this picture, right? Do you see that picture where they're arresting me? Who's touching me first? Can you see that? Whoops. There. So there's two officers.
Yep.
And they're in green tactical outfits. They have numbers on the back of their heads, 13 and 19. Okay. Immediately after my arrest, oh, come on, zoom out back to 100. Sorry. One. Okay. Oh, come on. Why is it doing that? Sorry. Give me a second.
Your devil's mad.
Oh,
Devil
my
doesn't
mouse
like
is all of it. My mouse all of a sudden is going wonky.
Yeah, I noticed your satellite was messing up on you too.
Well, we've got some bad weather out here right now, so
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that. So anyways, what is going on here is something much different than what people think. This was my arrest and where I was brought and everything, and what I was told, the documents I was given, and all the documents that I was given indicate that I was arrested by Ottawa Police. Okay? This is the documents that were given to the courts saying I was arrested by Ottawa Police. But we have laws in Canada. One of those laws is the first officer that lays hands on you is the arresting officer. Okay? That officer you've seen in the picture that I just showed you is Officer 57914 of the RCMP.
I have the page. Let me get it, because you're blocking out of your face is getting blocked out. But I can share the same. I've got the same picture. Let me
Okay,
just
you can follow what I'm saying, and I'll just turn my
yes.
video to normal and see if that helps.
There. How's that?
Okay,
Then I can have
perfect.
us both
So
here.
in the bottom left-hand corner, you see where they're arresting me? I don't know if you can zoom in on that.
Let's see. Yeah, I can.
The black and white. Yeah. So this is Officer 57914 of the RCMP. And how I found that out is, I'll tell you, when they arrested me, I have the original documents right here. Okay. I'm not going to show you the writing on it, but these are the original arrest documents. It indicates that I was arrested by Ottawa police, and that in order for me not to be detained any further, I had to sign an agreement to not go within 1 kilometer of any parliamentary district building. Imagine that, a red zone in Canada.
Unbelievable.
And I'm a government security cleared employee even to this day. Remember that. This is not just some protester out there waving a flag and being disrespectful or I don't agree with the vulgar material. You've never seen me have one in my hand. You've never seen me talk about it other than saying I disagree with it. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
There's something that happened that's also, before I go on, about after my arrest. On the 26th of January, I got into town late at night, 11:30 at night. And the first thing I seen as I was driving past Parliament buildings before anything was closed, nobody was there, was a giant truck with F Trudeau on it, parked right in front of the Parliament buildings and abandoned. Nobody in it.
Yep. I remember that.
So this truck was never inspected. It didn't get any type of scrutiny whatsoever in front of our Parliament buildings. Now, we've had buses drive onto the Parliament buildings, and a man decapitate himself on that bus. We've had lots of things happen, and that's why we have all these barriers around our Parliament buildings. When I was a kid, there were no barriers. I played all around that building. Okay. I used to in the gazebo at the back, anyways, this truck set a tone. It helped with a narrative.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people love the driver of that truck. I've met the man. But why would you do that before everybody got there?
Yeah.
Why? You're not allowed to ask these type of questions. You're going to find that I ask questions that people do not like, Paul. Okay. But if you keep your emotions out of it and you start looking at what the finality of this is going to be, going to be mighty surprised. Okay. So that truck really set a tone and allowed the media to do a whole bunch of things. And it also allowed our prime minister to, hide in his sock something. And watching what was happening, I did videos. If you see this background, see where it says 9.7 million views? Oh,
Let's
you have
see
my
here.
video on. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll take mine out, and then you can, and I'll take myself out.
Do you see here where it says 9.7 million views? Now, what that
It's
is
very
Google.
blurry.
Okay. What that is that is Google, because I traveled Canada doing photography and videos, like where the group of 7 did their paintings. I did things like this, and I had many followers. Okay.
Mm.
And about balancing, because I'm an IT professional, I balance nature with the IT. I always have. And
okay.
So when I was arrested, and I signed to the conditions, I immediately contacted internal affairs at Ottawa Police and wanted to charge the Ottawa Police with breaking the law. And I was told that they can't look at it until my legal case is done, which is 2 years. Okay. So I said, okay, but I made sure that they filed a number. It's always important to follow this whole story. You have to follow the numbers. So immediately I talked to OPIRD, is what they are called. And they said, after your trial. So I showed up to court. Before that, I retained a lawyer, and I paid $1,000 to that lawyer as a retainer. And that was Monique Grenier. But she said something to me at the time. She said, you know what, we're going to have a conglomerate of lawyers that are going to try to help people pay for their cases. Would you be interested in that? And I said, sure, I definitely, I need the help. I'm not a rich man. I'm pretty poor.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, let me get back to you, sign this, and I'll see if we can get some funding. And I said, okay, great. And a couple months goes by, and then all of a sudden I get a notification that the JCCF, Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, has decided to enter into our retainer. I signed a new retainer, but them as the payee. That's it. They seen that it was going to cost an estimate of $25,000 for me to fight in court, and they agreed to be a payee so that they could post on their site that they were helping. But the first thing that they posted was that we are representing. That's what their post says if you go to their page.
Like a lawyer.
But they have now deleted it, because less than 2 months before my trial, and they only paid $3,000 at that point. They cut off funding, and they said, because we cannot afford to pay a private lawyer. So I try to contact them for a month. No, they didn't respond. Nothing. So a supporter of mine offers me 1 plane ticket to anywhere in Canada and back. And I said, well, I want to go to Calgary so I can walk in their front door.
Yeah.
So that person said, okay. So I made arrangements to stay with James Bowder at his home for 2 weeks. And I was on my way. I posted on Facebook, JCCF, I'm on my way to your office. And I get intercepted with a phone call from JCCF. finally,
Wow.
when I got there. And it was the manager, the new manager of the all the lawyers that they retain. And I tell them about how some of their lawyers were operating illegal communication rooms with certain individuals that have court conditions not to speak to other organizers, not to communicate or plan anything. And I was invited into that room with those people, and I've shared that stuff online many times. And influencers in Canada have a lot to do with what happened with the RCMP and Ottawa police arresting people. And it's called the room is clandestine, and they call it the stakeholder engagement strategy. And there's over 60 influencers and media in Canada all in this strategy. There's even sitting MPs in the House of Commons right now that have agreed to that strategy. There are mainstream media writers that were in that room and all agreed to that strategy in Zoom meetings with them. And these people that started the room were lawyers that facilitated the room for illegally for other people. Now, if you're an MP in the House of Commons, we're kind of arguing as they're not acting legally. They're getting away with lots of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So if I personally seen an MP in an illegal room, and I've reported it to the RCMP, how did he get a security clearance to even walk in the parliament?
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not fooling. So after OPIRD, Ottawa Internal Police, said I couldn't do anything, 2024, January 22nd, 2024 was my court date. When I showed up, no judge was available. What do you mean no judge was available? Well, I showed up in courtroom and they said, well, no judge has been put on this docket. We're going to have to remand it till this afternoon. I say, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's strange because before I went into the courtroom, I went to a different courtroom altogether, and I walked in and I talked to one of the court supervisors on his computer in his office. And I said, do you have me on a docket? And he says, oh, yes, I have you at 10 a.m. right here in this with this judge. I said, that's funny because my courtroom that I just went in says that there's no judge available. Yeah. So I know that there's some tomfoolery going on there. Yep. And I wait, they remand it till 2 p.m. At 2 p.m., I show back up with my lawyer, and we have Charter Challenge in hand, which I don't know if you can pull that up. It's on my website. And the Charter Challenge is 17 pages long, backed by case law, in and out. But the second last paragraph is what's most important, is if they brought me to trial into disrepute. So at 2 p.m. I show up and they say there's still no judge available. No judge is willing to take this case.
Come on.
So they remand it till 10 a.m. the next day. Now, before we go on to the next day, what would have happened if I was not ready for trial and did not show up? What do you think would have happened? There'd be
They would
a
have
warrant
charged
for my
you more.
arrest.
Yep,
There would be a warrant for my arrest.
exactly.
And so,
One-way street, isn't it?
yes. So the next day I show up, 10 a.m. I'm ready. Bring it. Because I'm not guilty. And they offered me 5 different deals over the course of the 2 years, by the way. Take
Wow.
this deal and you see nothing. You don't get any time. You don't get any. Their last deal to me was on the day. And my lawyer gave it to me and she said, this is what they're offering. No criminal charges, no fines, no nothing. But you must plead guilty.
Oh, come on. So all these offers are just trying to absolve their own guilt.
Absolutely. So I said no. I said I don't care. If we got to go to the grand jury, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not guilty. I didn't break a law. My entire time is captured on video and recorded by the city of Ottawa.
Yep.
Okay. So, and we know that is there. It can't just disappear, by the way. Okay. They have agreed and have acknowledged that it's there from that letter that you just showed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, then what we were saying was the,
If I can get the letter again.
Where was I? Oh, yes. So the next step after the second day, I show up at 10 a.m. They still didn't have a judge, and they remanded it again till 2 o'clock that day on the 23rd. Before 2 o'clock came, my lawyer gets a call and says the Crown Attorney is withdrawing all charges, not dropping or withdrawing, means it never happened. But because of that, she said, you don't get to say anything in court. It's done. That's it. We don't even do anything. We just show up and we walk back out again. And I said, what are you talking about? I have charged them with counter crimes.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean I don't get my day in court? I've been criminal for years. Okay. And I've had to go through other visual effects because of it.
You were labeled a criminal. You were labeled a criminal by criminals. They can seize your account in 3 minutes.
Well, no, I gotta say, Paul, I believe in our systems working. I believe all systems have to keep undergoing new age and things like this. I believe I've worked for billion-dollar corporations. I've helped develop many things, including, I have a lifetime paid premium account from Microsoft for doing work. Okay. That's one of my benefits. I didn't get this for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I didn't get my security clearance to do nothing. And I'll tell you, when I seen the corruption in the government, when I was in the buildings, I also reported it then. And it never helped me. It never helped me monetarily or in my career. But I didn't apply to places where I got asked to work places. I don't even have a resume because I just go where I'm asked to go to. Okay.
Yep.
My resume, whatever there is of it, is shown on LinkedIn. People can look it up. I know people are looking it up because I get notifications every day from LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So, because when you're a government employee, you have to. There's other people out there like that he says he's a government employee, he's a white hat, all of this stuff. But
as if they would even say that out loud.
Can you? Well, he calls me out every day for being an agent or something like this. But can you go online and say, give me this person? I'm not going to say his name because they're trying to do legal stuff on me. So can you go to LaFake and on the government paycheck website and verify that he makes any money from the government ever? Well, no, you can't find his name anywhere. So he's not a government employee that makes over $50,000. You can look for me and you'll find me, though. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, to continue, after the EA, and I seen the travesties that were happening there, and I seen behind the scenes, I was in the same rooms as Freedom Corporation lawyers. The citizens never had a voice in the EA inquiry. You had JCCF protecting their clients, the Freedom Corporation, and it is a corporation, by the way. And I did those. I applied to Corporations Canada for all the on Freedom Corporation, where Tamara Lynch and Chris Barber are directors. In all of these years, they've never claimed 1 cent donated to director. Just think about that for a second. Okay? Documents on my just do the work to prove, and I don't care who's feeling I'm hurting or time for your feelings. I'm not attacking anybody specifically. I'm talking about the act of this total destabilization of our country. Stabilization. And these people, most of them, if you look into their past, they're paid by globalists to do this or that, or they have $1 million backers that pay their biggest contracts in their businesses. Barber, and those are the people that wanted to be prime minister. I can show you a video of his biggest customer at his trucking company wanting to be prime minister, and that's who paid for all these boardrooms in 2022. He brags about it. So these charges on all of these people in Ottawa that were charged on the 19th or whereabouts the 19th of February in 2022 can all because if the RCMP is lying on more than one case, then all their integrity is destroyed. Okay.
Yep.
My integrity is intact.
Mm-hmm.
I conduct myself with honor and integrity. Yeah, I am blunt. I am a blunt man because of all of this stuff over the years. I've always helped people. There are many out there. I've helped thousands in Saskatchewan. I made a precedent by going to court on government employees able to sue the government. You don't even know how important that is. But I don't have $1 million or $1 billion backers to advertise these things. Okay? And I'm sick. I just want to go back to my life, have a little bit of peace of mind for a few years, and that's it. I feel compelled, Paul, since 2022 to do this. And it has actually helped my health. And my speech. I used to stutter really, really bad. I couldn't make it through. But now I can, because they've given power. This to that 2022 are false and illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So right after the internal affairs and my court case was finished, I immediately contacted internal affairs again. My court case is done. Let's get on with it. I want to charge these people. And at the time, I couldn't prove that it was an RCMP officer. I didn't even know. I did know, but I don't say things if I just have an inclination it might be. You have to prove it before you say it, right? So I went right back to internal affairs, and they did not contact me back. So I went to the Ottawa police station, and I asked them, I want to lay charges on a police officer. And he says, you can't do that. There's a new agency. And the new agency started on don't quote me on it, but I think it's the 23rd of July, 2024. So just after my court case is done, a new agency for complaining on the police in Ontario, excluding the RCMP, but any other police, is created, called the LECA, Law Enforcement's Complaint Agency. Makes sense. Their website is beautiful. It's all about the people. It's all about upholding accountability, right? So I contact them, and there was no way the officers did not know or ought to know the orders they were given and actions taken were unconstitutional. Okay? Now, there's a reason why this is specifically written like this, is because in the policing acts and the policing acts for special constables and the RCMP Act, they all say that the officers must operate under the charter. They cannot use Section 1 to get outside of the charter for the law on this emergency, because the emergency was deemed illegal. The act was deemed to be illegally instituted. The protest was deemed legal in the courts of law. Where I was standing, not doing any harm to nobody in my own capacity, was not illegal. And they knew that.
Yeah.
So in the LECA decision, let me see if I can just find that real quick here. A decision, it states that, by the way, when I made my complaints on the Ottawa police, I complained about not only the act of arresting me, but withholding my medication during incarceration, illegal search, illegal seizure.
Wow.
All of this stuff, right? So,
I mean, in some cases, not giving your medication could be attempted murder, could it not? If it was something that keeps you alive?
Absolutely. And it hurt me. I have 2 dislocated shoulders. I wear a brace every day. You guys don't know it because I don't talk about it. I am disabled, but I try to be a regular person. Okay. And,
Yes.
They handcuffed, even after many requests on video to handcuff me in the front, they refused and handcuffed me behind my back, even sitting me in a car while my hands were behind my back, that was actually the most excruciating time, was when they did that. Standing, an amendment. You know, I peed myself, by the way, froze to me. I know that might sound disgusting, but it's a fact. And it's cruel and unusual punishment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now, and what they do is they actually, the way they say, well, the arresting officer was not Ottawa police, so we can no longer investigate. We're shutting this investigation down. So any of the acts after that police officer, they're just going to ignore. There was no wrongdoing, okay? And they said, you have to bring this to the RCMP because it was RCMP 57914. Now, they refused to give the name of the person 57914, which is 366 of the Criminal Code, withholding pertinent information on a government document with intent to file criminal charges on me. So I went to the commissioner of the RCMP with a complaint, and I complained that this officer, I did the same complaint I did with Ottawa, but I also said, this is not a complaint. This is a criminal accusation. I want criminal investigation. Well, that's what I said to the LECA too, because when I went to Ottawa, they said the only way you can file charges on a police officer is to go through the LECA. But the LECA says they never file charges on a police officer. You know what I mean? It's all contradictory.
Yep.
As you go through it. So the next thing I did was I went to the commissioner of the RCMP, made my official complaint, very well written out, very pointed to detail. Mm-hmm. And they came out with the name of their officer. They provide the name. It's in all my documents on my Facebook and my website and my X account. We just can't show it all here tonight, but all these documents are available. And but what they quote to me is that the officers were following the RCMP Act. So I write back to them, and they say there's no way to appeal their decision, by the way. Okay. So I write back to them and I say, well, you're actually misquoting the act, so your argument is moot. And I give them the reason for that. Because they falsified with their own documents from the commissioner's report. It verifies that they falsified documents to the courts. Do you know how important that is?
Unbelievable.
With their credibility is zero right now.
Zero.
So after I argue with the commissioner for a bit, back and forth in emails for several weeks, the commissioner tells me that you have to file criminal complaint in the jurisdiction Ottawa.
Oh.
And I said, I already did that, and they did not take it. So all of you are refusing to investigate this criminal report that I wrote.
Exactly.
And that criminal report, pull it up here. On another page, ready to go.
So I shared your YouTube channel in comments.
Okay, and in that YouTube channel, there's a lot of things about other people, all these crisis actors. Okay, that's what I call them. Okay, that's what's happening in our country now. I want you to remember that the globalists that have had think tanks for decades to come up with this destabilization plan for Canada, they would have also planned for anything. What's the most dangerous thing that could destroy their plans, do you think, Paul?
The truth.
No,
The truth is
no,
what they cannot
they can
put up with.
they can always overcome the truth, but what they can't overcome is a citizen-led movement. And we see this in Event 201. The outcome of that event was that a citizen-led movement could destroy their plans for total vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Everything is connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after the RCMP, like I said, they said I have to go to the police of jurisdiction. So a couple weeks ago, I send a report. My Facebook right here. I'm just getting it ready.
Yep. I'm on your Facebook too.
Okay, so just underneath the pictures, I was sharing some of my today. There's a picture with the Ottawa police with me. Can you show that page?
Let me see. Is it a newer one or older? Or are you talking about this one right here?
I'll share you the. No. I'll share it with you in chat here.
All right. Okay, let me go to chat. Oops, that was mine.
There you go, under private chat. Okay.
Chat.
In the restream room, or I can send it to you in our Facebook
Messenger. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. There it is. So a couple weeks ago, I sent, because if you go on to the Ottawa Police website, it tells you that you can report crimes of fraud to them. It doesn't only mean cyber fraud. It means all fraud. I live in a very, very community. I cannot come to Ottawa to do an in-person report. So online. And when I did it online, I end up getting a response back saying, "Thank you for your concerns with the driving that you witnessed." I'm like, what about?
Oops. Here we go. There.
So I'm like, what are you talking about? Bad driving? And I emailed them back, but they blocked my email now, info@ottawapolice.ca. So,
come on.
Yeah. So I called them yesterday and I start my journey. 4 hours on the phone. I get the first intake person, which are not police officers, by the way. They're civilians that are just there to intake. They're not supposed to try to justify whether your charges are legit or not. They have to just take the information, give you a file number. But they refused to do that with me yesterday. They refused.
Of course.
They outright. I have it recorded. I recorded everything. And but he says, I'm going to send you, I see there's an open file number from Internal Affairs at Police Conduct or whatever, OPIRD. And I said, okay, great, send me over to him. So he gets me on the phone and he says, "You can't lay charges on a police officer." And I said, "Sir," I said,
What if he shoots
You're starting off on the wrong foot." And
Exactly.
So we talk for 42 minutes. At the end, he finally understands me. He understands the story because he asked me to explain the entire thing to him about how I think it's illegal for them to alter documents. I explain it all, and he says at the end, "Well, all I can do is deal with police misconduct. I can't take a criminal complaint." As an officer, he can't take a criminal complaint. He's a sergeant at that. A sergeant can't take a criminal complaint. BS.
Wow.
So he says, what I can do is I can forward you to who can take your criminal complaint. And I said, well, actually, you already have it. You have access to it at info@ottawapolice.ca. It's sitting there for you. The whole, the poster, the same you just shared there. I do believe I shared the letter. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. So, it's only shared as a link in the post.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's underneath. Yeah, it's the first post underneath.
Like
everything
a comment
that I wrote to them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It. But there's a whole property that you can download. And so I go through the paces with him. He says, well, your file number, I guess, is still open with them, by the way. And when the LECA was created that take complaints for the police, the OPIRD, which I initially I wanted to lay charges on the police, was never sent to the LECA. This is the decompartmentalization that they're trying to do to stop anybody going forward with proper investigation on what happened in January and February of 2020. It's all a sham. And they're hiding it. They're hiding video footage. I've proven that. The documentation. They're protecting the police officers that acted inappropriately and illegally. They are helping. They are helping, believe it or not, people like Tamara Inch and Chris Barber. Trust me, those people had them in their rooms. Okay? They cut deals. That's why they're not in jail. Okay.
Yep.
Now, if I fight for the rights and freedoms of one, I fight for all. So I believe that their charges, just like, even though no matter how much I dislike them for deceiving Canadians, their charges should be dismissed. But they have charges that are much more serious that are coming. Okay.
Really?
To be put out. What they did to the courts and made them our courts with the help of the Crown Attorney, with the help of RCMP and OPF. Do you know that when they were in court, when I witness major law being broken, I have a duty as a citizen to act accordingly. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not too good or anything else, but I have a duty, especially in this time of war. And that duty, when I seen them breaking major laws, I put it all on an SD card. I showed up to their court case in front of them, and I gave that SD card to the Crown Attorney. And I said, if you want these people in jail, yay. The Ottawa police took that card down and had an over half-hour conversation and wrote a report on it. Okay? It was at the courthouse. That police officer contacted me before, and he promised me up from that meeting, he was going to write a report and get back to me before 4 o'clock to make sure he confirmed that with me. Because there are police officers that want to honor their oath, and they're not mixed up in it. And I believe in our system, and I believe in our laws.
I agree.
But
I agree 100%.
But what we are seeing is what's called selective law. So if we see the selective law happening on the streets, the same selective law is happening in our House of Commons, but in an opposite way. Okay?
Yep.
And this is all due to one thing, Paul. And this is, people wonder why. I have a lot of different investigations going on. We could sit here for hours and I could show you them. But what it all comes down to, every one of them, there's 5 different file numbers that I have. One is on our CMP, one's on the commissioner, et cetera, et cetera. One that encompasses them all, and it is PIIP, political interference policing. Let me say that again. Political interference into policing. Our highest of laws, equality, above or before and law, or okay? That means every police officer, every government official also has to act accordingly under our Charter of Rights, emergency or not.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? They can't use the law. How I am expected to live, how I do live. Okay? So I have never been interviewed or allowed Dory anywhere. All the places I did go on, they tried to weave me and shut me up anytime I discussed something very, very controversial.
Right. Yeah. Not here, brother.
Every time you've seen it. You've seen that I was very willing to help I got asked to help Live from the Shed. I got asked to help Freedom Tour. I got asked to help Canada Unity. I got asked to help all the other groups. I was in all of them. I was even admin of some of them that people didn't know, because there were over 500,000 people following my different posts on Canada Unity, on this and that every day. That's why the stakeholder engagement strategy group invited me, because they invited all the important influencers in media, and they thought that they could coerce or bribe or give a false sense that you're gonna explode your channels. We're gonna help you. National backers will share the money. We'll share everything. All of this stuff. Okay. And now we see people like Pat King coming out against Lynch, not talking about the truth, what I'm talking about. Okay. He won't even speak to me, but I can show you a picture of him standing, piecing beside me in Ottawa in 2022 during the convoy. I can show you a video where he mentions me, but it's where Daisy Media is misreporting on my trial, where he says that all my charges were stayed. That's not true. They were withdrawn. That guy lies through his teeth only to a conglomerate that they're working with. Now,
And
they have all
yeah,
these Canadian.
I think that's
let
what's
me-
important about this show is you can, it's seeking the truth. And you're a man of peace. I'm a man of peace. So we have a lot in common. You may have more courage than me, and I wasn't able to go to Ottawa, but yeah, I'm not going to steer the conversation. I have an opinion, but it's only an opinion. I'm not like Dr. Fauci. I don't represent the science. I don't represent the truth. I represent looking for the truth and being humble, and seeking the truth. As you're doing right now, as you're showing the truth, you have firsthand information, and a lot of people don't know any of this. So that's why this is
No,
such a great
no.
opportunity to really inform others.
Exactly. And like I did go on to Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Yep.
But even that conversation was steered in a way. Okay. Now about the Candace Zero psyop, where he believed that she really was trampled and things like this, right? But not true. That story is false. Okay. Oh, you have it queued up, do you?
I do.
Oh, very interesting. I was the person that called the ambulance for Candace Zero, the one that brought her up to my hotel room. I was the one that questioned her first. Okay, I was the one that seen that there was nothing wrong with her. I videotaped it. Well, the paramedic out and did not want to bring her to the hospital. She can tell you all these things that were wrong, and she had this and that done. Is ever going to corroborate her personal medical information? This is the way the grift works. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you've never, in all of her things, you've never heard her discuss how thankful she was for me getting her help at all.
Nope.
But what she wanted was a media storm. The moment I walked into the hotel, in the lobby, there were about 50, 60 people. Lots of them were media. And one media guy, I could out him right now, but he yells out to me, Peaceman, did you hear that a lady got killed by a horse? And I said, shut the hell up. I just seen her. She's not killed. What are you talking about?
She also had no injuries. She had no injuries, no bruises.
Nothing. And I sat her down right in front of me, in front of 50 or 60 people. And of course, they're all encroaching in now, eh? And I was like, okay, the first thing I did when I sat her down, I said, are you okay? And she said, no. And I said, okay, stand up. And she's like, what? And I said, stand up, turn around, go into the elevator, and I'm going to bring you to my room, and I'm going to get you some help.
I've seen that video.
Okay. And she, on our way up, I questioned her, and I looked at her movements and actions. Now, you know that I have dislocated shoulders from birth that dislocate up to 90 times in a day, and I live with extreme pain. Okay, if I don't wear my brace, yeah, I mean, I don't know many people that can take it. Okay,
that would be brutal.
It is. It's brutal to live with too. So and it's. I know a dislocated shoulder. If you're holding your shoulder like this, it doesn't mean that it's dislocated, okay? And I was there. I watched her get medically checked out. I took the video. I took the pictures for proof. She got paid off too, $20,000. So
really?
in cash. and this is the type of stories that people are not willing to talk about because they were used. These stories were used to vilify in media, and then on the other side, the alternative media, to play both sides. When we got both conservatives and liberals inside of secret clandestine rooms, like Dagny Pollock and Andrew Lawton. They're both, one's liberal, one's conservative. They're inside these clandestine rooms. He even admitted it on Twitter, by the way, Andrew Lawton. But he lied about it. He said he was only in the room to promote his book. And the only reason why he said it, not because I was coming out and saying anything, but a mainstream media writer reached out to me and did a whole piece on it. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not an asshole. I'm a nice guy, and I've helped a lot of people in this time since 2022. I didn't ask for money like these stories Barber makes up on his X page and all of this. Tax more people in the freedom movement than anybody I've ever seen on his social toxics. I'm not fooling around here. This is not a game that we're playing. I'm not out to create narratives. I'm out trying to actually help the people wronged in Ottawa with proper paperwork. All these corporate lawyers and stuff, they make it look like they're fighting the good fight, but they use these noble causes just to get the money and fail at everything.
Yep.
You have lawyers like Eva Chipiuk putting out shows called Dialogue Over Division. Well, they're the people that are actually dividing. And that document that is shared, that I shared from within their secret room, shows that they're dividing. It's not me. They made up this narrative, and then they had a bunch of other people parrot it, that I attack people. But no, all I've ever been doing was protect myself and protect Canadians. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, even James Bowder, I helped the man for years. I helped him. I took major heat for him. And he turned his back and went.
A lot of people get very upset when they find the truth. You know, it's very upsetting.
And I'll tell you, the only reason why he's in the States pleading asylum is because I told him, you need to get a lawyer here and I'll help you and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. James has said that, the lawyers all told him to remain silent. James never hired a lawyer ever for this until he got to the States. Okay? So there's holes in his story. And this whole group that started this is also responsible for trying to have foreign influence into Canadian issues. That's how the destabilization is helped from outside of our country. That's how their president is now able to diss our country openly. We used to have a reputation as the best people in the world. And that reputation and everything with it, our democracy, our law, everything is being destabilized on purpose because of a global initiative.
Yeah. Yep.
People like Tamara are what you call young global leaders. People they are building. They are building her. You can see it all the way along. She got paid by globalists before 2022 in Wexit and Maverick Party. The major donators to those places are globalists. that want separatists. Globalists love separatists. They use them because most of them are very fanatic. Now, I believe that all of the things that are going wrong with our country can be fixed and we can go in a different path, but only if we do it right. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that James did that was the right idea, but it was executed wrong, okay? When we had all those people going to Ottawa, James had that document, that MOU document drawn up. But right at the end, it was purposely changed to include stuff so that the government wouldn't accept it. Okay? But that's not the way it was written in the first place. And it was only written by a couple truckers and a former MP. And the good thing about that MOU was 373,000 people signed it. At the time, we had 38 million people in Canada, okay? If you can get something with at least 1% of the signatures in Canada, it can be read in the House of Commons as a public interest and maybe even a citizen-led request that we have proper investigations go on. And if you read all of my stuff, every time, that's what I am trying to initiate is a proper investigation. All of this stuff is all connected and to most make sense. But it's easy. Globalists had a plan. They started a plan, but before they did that, they had a lot of trained people. I can go back to 2015 and show you where a couple of these crisis actors made mistakes on the internet and forgot to delete this or that. And it proves one of them is named Rosie Convoy. She said she made that name up in 2022, August of 2022. Or June, July, August 2022. But if you look on X and you look up Rosie Convoy, you find it from 2015. The name Rosie Convoy in 2015.
You know, at this point,
Barber,
I have to ask you, because I think we may have to do another show. I think
there's a whole other
there's so much
thing. We're going to get back.
If you're willing to come back, I would love to have you on again, because I think there's so much territory that we could cover, and I really think that you have valuable information. Just because I love to inform. You know, I when I find the truth, I get excited about it, and I want to share it, and because people have been lied to, and they know they've been lied to. And, you know, you're a branch of that tree that we need, you know, and, you know, I appreciate what you've done, what you stand for. And, you know, I like everyone that's been on my show. I mean, I came after you. I wanted you on my show because not for me, not for it. You know, it's not about grifting or making money, because I don't make any money. I fund it myself and sell T-shirts. So this isn't a grift at all. This is an opportunity. I thought, you know, I can do this. I was a singer, a musician, so I have the microphone and I have what I need to do this. And I know it does take courage, though, because I know that when you know. And you know when who the bad guys are. The more information you get, the more understand your enemies. And you went face to face right to the court system with what you had, and you were justified.
Well, actually, I've purposely tried to keep
everything you needed.
Purposely, I've tried to keep it out of the court. In every one of our operations, the police, government institution, there's always accountability measures. You do not have to go and hire a lawyer and go to court. You have the right as a citizen to use those citizen tools. That's the first picture you see on my webpage. Use those tools. Don't just do this. There's a whole lot of this going on. Do that. I prove what I say. And I'm sending you a 2-minute video right now. It might be a little bit slow sending because we're on here, but I want you to play this video. It was a video that Citizen Camera did, and it is 2 minutes, 1 minute and 51 seconds. And I think out of everything he spoke about, he made this thing in 1 minute and 51 seconds that made total sense. Okay.
Is it in your videos here? In your YouTube?
No, I just sent it to you in
let me
Messenger.
Okay.
It's already gone. It's already sent. And I'm just going to turn my camera off for a second. And I'll be right back.
You mean Messenger on Facebook?
Yeah. I just sent it to you.
Okay, let me just get there. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, let me get that full screen. Oh, there you are. Oh, look at your eyes there. Okay, I'm gonna pull us off of the screen here.
Yeah.
And so
play that one full screen. Now I did.
Oh, let me just stop this. I'm thinking I should probably do this too. Right. He did this. So we don't have to read, but I did put the link to his YouTube, and there's a lot of videos there, a lot of information. It's all valuable, worth sharing, and I hope you would go there. Plus, we're on YouTube and Rumble if you have a Rumble account. I posted this on X as well. We have some documents up here.
I'm just going to show you something here. This is the, give me a second here. This is the criminal complaint to OPS and the RCMP. And it names, because the officers that did these illegal acts under the Project Natterjack, it's not just the officers that should have to be investigated, but the superiors that let it happen. And the superiors in this case are Michael DeHume and Eric Stubbs. Now, we know Eric Stubbs was inserted into his position at that crucial time while everything was happening. And on the left-hand side, you'll see all the different file numbers it took to get the information to file this complaint on the RCMP. Because remember, I said I didn't have proof on the RCMP before the LECA complaint. It's their own documents that are proving their transparency and their illegal acts. And this document is 7 pages, I think. So please, what I'm asking the public for is that I've been on this journey as a Canadian citizen that's very concerned about our country. And I have no reason to make anything up. If I did make things up, or if I accused somebody of something, then take me to task, file charges on me, sue me, do whatever you need to do.
Yep.
Do whatever you need to do. You'll notice that these high up influencers, they're not suing me for openly discussing everything that I seen with my own eyes, do you? They have attacked other people and brought cases against them, like Adopt a Trucker and a few other people. They brought cases against these people for sharing the truth, because that man was taken advantage of. You know? Do you know that he didn't even know me, but he helped Ottawa when I was freezing cold and I had nowhere to stay. One of the a trucker, and he said, listen, he's not a trucker, but he is standing in front of our trucks in a peaceful, and we need his message. All those truckers right there on Wellington at Medcalf all agreed that they need my message there. That's why they cordoned me off. And I had a place to stand the entire 6 days on a yellow line, not to the left, not to the right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of person. I'm a humanitarian, which means I believe in humanity. We have these laws so that we can live and coexist, at least in some kind of peaceful way. But because of the penetration, which is the root cause to all of the problems in Canada, focusing on all of these distractions doesn't get you to the root cause of foreign influence that has penetrated not just our government and have admitted to it publicly, They have penetrated our banks, our businesses, our public offices, everything. And it has taken decades. But now people are worried about their careers and their personal social being. One thing I've always shown is I don't care what you say about me online. I'm still going to do what I'm doing. That's it. I don't need your friendship. I didn't go to Ottawa to gain a new family or to join a movement.
Popular. Or be popular. You didn't go there for fame.
Or be popular. I actually spent, I will tell you honestly, I am not a rich man. I make $733 a month while I'm suing my government for $2.2 million. Okay. For 8 years. But I've had to live off of $733 a month. And I pay for my place, which may not be much, but it's an island and a mountain in the middle of nowhere, and I love it. I didn't have to leave this place. I didn't have to go to Ottawa, but I had to. And I did. But I did being prepared. I knew that if I stood in front of that camera, it didn't matter about all the other cameras there. I would have a record of it that was requestable.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all starting to make sense now. You know, how do you catch a globalist? Well, you have to use their paperwork. You have to use their systems. You have to, but if you're just going to do this all the time and not do or show any documentation, I can't, you know what it does? It puts me outside of the realm of influencers or alternative media.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried to help them all. I tried to work with them. But when something that my father taught me young is if you ever find yourself sitting at a table of snakes, get up and leave. You might get bit once or twice, but you will live to go down that pit. Okay.
Yep.
And that's what I'm doing today.
Yes, and I'm so grateful, and I hope you will come back because I think we could go on. We'll have to like split into 2 hours each because there's so much value
sections. We could. I don't want to host a show by myself. It doesn't. It doesn't get anywhere. I get maybe 5,000-6,000 views on my videos. Okay. But that's not reaching the public. And people are too scared to share because I speak truth against some of their, it might wreck some of their ideals, you know, that have been implanted in their heads. And
it's true. They idolize.
People
it's
are
true.
scared
They idolize questions. And they follow the grifters, you know, they fell into their traps. And so like that's not what this is about.
About the money. When I was standing in Ottawa on the 13th of February 2022, while I was standing there, my best friend had passed away in 2020, and he left me a life insurance policy. And I fought the insurance company for a year and a half because they were withholding his policy from me, saying that he never signed the paperwork or something stupid. I'm already in court with Canada Life. So I told them, I will take you to court again. And the next day, they released the money while I was standing in Ottawa. All of that money, I went to the bank and I withdrew $20,000 in cash. I had it in my pockets in cash the entire time. I was from the 13th on. I was standing there. I was giving out $100 bills or whatever to people, and but not the treasures and stuff. I was giving it to the homeless people. really, honestly. I don't think it did anything to the truckers. Actually, when I was asked when I needed a place to warm up, several truckers, I sat in their trucks and talked to them for hours. And several of those trucks, while I was sitting in their truck, if anybody gave them a donation, they gave me half. I will tell you that. Okay? That money was used to help homeless and whatever. When the police arrested me and they were taking evidence out off of my body, they took 3 evidence bags full of stuff, because you seen my suit that I was wearing, it was full of stuff.
Yep. Mhm.
And this police officer was pulling out wads of cash out of every pocket, and he's looking at me like, what? But I didn't want being frozen, and I didn't want that. I needed money to operate. So I spent that $20,000 on my website, helping people like the Freedom Tour with their tour. I went on a speaking tour because they asked me to. And I stood up and made many speeches about make sure you're following the right, that you're using the tools, things like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got standing ovations almost every time I spoke, even after people like Danny Bulford and stuff. It was me that got the standing ovations. Now, that's not an ego thing. It's because people were listening at the time.
Yeah.
People were willing to follow the truth at the time. But then late in 2022, the entire convoy was commercialized by Freedom Corp and all of their media, their arms, their associates. And if they wanted you silenced, they silenced you. They not only didn't just made a complete agreement for no contact order with Dana Lee, they actually went out of their way to go onto their social media and tell everybody I was a liar. And Barber saying mean things about my parents, and oh, he still lives at home and stuff like this. Dude, I'm a security cleared worker for 28 years. Okay? I've written manuals that are published within these corporations that are proprietary information. I know what I'm speaking about. The reason why I know how to use all these systems is because of years of education and experience. I didn't just drive a truck my whole living, okay? I didn't just drive a truck. And yeah, it's a great profession.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take the amount of experience it takes to do things like this, to run a corporation that they say that they are running. But now if you look at that corporation, it's listed as a non-soliciting. Now, Paul, I'm going to tell you there's 2 different types of corporations in Canada. One is called a soliciting, which is every corporation that is formed at the beginning. And there's a non-soliciting, which you have to apply for, and you can only bring, there's different rules. You can only bring in $10,000 a year. It has to be nonprofit, and you do not have to disclose your financials. How did Freedom Corporation get approved to be a non-soliciting when we see their directors out there gathering millions of dollars in cash? Let's forget that they're siphoning money through places like Democracy Fund and JCCF.
Yep.
Which they're taking a cut of by having those people represent them in lieu of taking those donations. JCCF did the same thing with me before they illegally broke their contract with me. Okay. They had a donate button by my face. When I did the speeches, I told people to donate to JCCF, not to me. It's in the speeches on that YouTube you just shared.
Mm-hmm.
You do not find contradiction or hypocrisy. And that's what they have a hard. That's why they just block and they don't even mention you anymore or anything like that,
Absolutely.
because they use their whole system to do that. And then they turn people against you. And what can you say? You can try to defend yourself, but they just use it and they manipulate it, and it's called social fearing tactic. They want to socially fear you from listening to me. But
as you can see,
I don't care.
As you can see, it didn't work on me.
Yeah, and you know what? I have been very iffy about who or what show I go on, because I was used by other people like
Maverick.
What's his name? No, he was okay. He didn't.
Yeah.
I gotta say I like Rick. Okay, and I think he's really trying to do something special. But he does. Just like a lot of media, they want to keep the people interested in a scripted story. And sometimes explanations take time, but these people never give me the time to speak like you have. So I'm taking that time. I've agreed to do it. I don't care about the repercussions, because everything that I'm doing is legal.
Yeah, I don't care either. I mean, even if 3 people watch the show, I think it's still important. I just have faith, such a strong faith, that I really believe that the right people are going to see it, that can actually do something. That's just my faith, though. I just have that blind faith where it's not really, this show is not about me at all. It's just something I was able to do. And I think it's important. It's important for me. All my guests have a story that's I feel compelled to share, and it really is nothing to do with me. I just happen to be able to talk with people and listen, and I found your story, and I was so compelled and touched. Even the song was so touching to me, because I seen the manipulation and the fear tactics and the lies. It was just overwhelming, and it still didn't stop me from seeing the truth, which is why I came to you. And I don't blame you for being, cautious, because I think we have to be cautious at this point, because there are grifters and there are people that are looking for fame, and we've seen them.
I think the word grifters is really they try. Remember, these people in their own documents call themselves narrative destroyers and creators. Okay, so they also create narratives within the freedom community because they don't want you to help anybody that really has a good. We used to be able to ask the public, okay, I'm doing this, I'm showing my work, maybe you find value in it and you help me. Now, I purposely don't ask for any help, and I have one little ad on the first page of my website that says, if you want to help, send it here. Okay? Now, 2 years ago, I couldn't afford to keep my website up, and it was going to be $600, $700. And somebody, private citizen, came up to me and said, what would be the best thing to help you? What could I do to help you? And I said, well, I really want my website renewed, at least for 2 years. And they went and they paid for it directly for 2 years for me. And that bill's coming up again in March. Now, I have the money to pay it, but it would leave me extremely, extremely short.
Hmm.
So if anybody would like to help, the email is right up beside me here, and that's it. I will ask. And
Is it Sactel? Is that it? Is that your website here?
well, my website is peace-man.ca.
Okay, well,
No, that's who I work for.
okay.
peaceandman.ca. And the email address is peaceman@man.ca.
Here you are.
So I about $1,800.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
share
looking
that
to
too.
raise.
I'll share that too on Facebook. I will put the link if anyone wants to participate. You know,
It is
it's right there.
It is an app if you want to.
Easy to find.
But what I am at the point where now that I've done all of the steps, I need the public interest to put pressure on the Justice Committee in the House of Commons on the ATIP for our mandates. This is very, very important because the Justice Minister is in contempt of Parliament right now for not putting it through in the Justice Committee. It just so happens that the corrupt people that I've mentioned, like Andrew Lawton, he is appointed to the Justice Committee just recently, and he will not comment or answer my communications. So if he starts getting, and I have shared it on all my media, that you as a citizen should be pressing your MP that's in this Justice Committee to ask why the RCMP are not bringing charges on the people in the DOJ that have broken the law, that have been already found in official reports by the OIC breaking the law. It is being discussed in the House of Commons right now. This is the most important. Then we're going to do a whole other show on the RCMP and what I have on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I put the link there, so anyone watching this podcast can participate, join, become a member, and get more involved. You know, it's a righteous cause.
I think we should do a little series.
I'm open to that. Absolutely. I've got a year's stream paid for, just like you and your websites. You got 2 years. Mine's like $400 a year. So it's expensive for me.
Yeah. My website has all the bells and whistles and unlimited document uploads so that people can download documents. So instead of me having to share documents every time in my social media and stuff, you can go to the web page and there's a download documents page. If you go to the acceptable page,
wow. You were featured with Tucker,
and you scroll Tucker, New York Times, Post, all of these different ones, right? But none of them will speak words. I've sent emails to Tucker to ask if we could have same with New York Times, because they interviewed me. Could we have an interview? And they won't even respond. They will not respond. They used me. They wrote a bad story, but used my picture on the front of their paper. Okay.
Oh,
and that's why if you look on, let me just see something here. Gallery. So these are all behind me, all different newspapers that featured me on the cover of their papers, lots of them, and none of them will speak to me, not one, alternative news or mainstream media. Okay, it's absolutely incredible. This is my web page. Under the about page, there's a blog, and there's a whole lot. It's all done by date. Okay, so I wrote this as things were happening, and I seen a lot of things happen, and a lot of these very, very questionable people acting. It's just acting, and it really hurts my heart that people are falling for their bullshit.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, that's kind of how I got involved. I only been doing this for about 2 years now, a year and a half. But yeah, that's kind of what propelled me into doing this. I think it's important. I really do. I think we're in like a dire need of truth right now. Even the truth is, they're trying to stop us from speaking truth, even posting scriptures, biblical scriptures. I mean, there's certain scriptures you can't post or you could get charged. I mean,
Yeah,
it's absolutely
yeah,
insane what's
exactly.
happening to us.
Now, I
And
believe that they've weaponized all religions too. I'm sorry, Paul, but
no, I agree with
I
you. No, I
I
study
was
religion.
I was a devout Christian most of my life
Yep.
up until about 15 years ago, because
No, you're right.
I I find that internal faith is found internally. It's not
Yep,
found under a roof or in a
it
group,
is.
and it's not found in a God. It is found internally,
Yep. The kingdom of
and
heaven is within us.
faith, your internal faith is shown by your external actions. Okay,
Absolutely.
and
Yes,
that's what I do.
I do plan on doing a
But
show
I
because
will never.
I do plan on doing a show about this because I have studied multiple religions, everything, Dead Sea Scrolls, Sumerian tablets, the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Bible. I also went to translate that original Hebrew, and I found lies right in the first line. So I was very upset and angry because a lot of people just believe. I used to even be in a men's Christian group with pastors and ministers. These people all had congregations, and they used to mute me because I I told them to try. I said, look, you have all of these people that believe you, and you're teaching them this when it's written right here, and I'll show them where it is. I think I did have a show on how to pray properly, but yeah, I think I will probably do another show about it because it's so important. People have strong faith, but it has been weaponized, and you're absolutely right about that. And it's sad, especially when you have faith like a strong faith like my own.
I I I I think that every human scripture is important. There is no God that ever wrote a book. Put it that way.
Oh
Okay.
no,
There's no
yep,
proof of that. It's all humans, but we know that all humans are capable of writing stories and
yep,
embellishment and
yep,
lies, and every book they
and their
actually have
agenda.
sections, fiction and non-fiction, it's
Hmm.
lies and not lies, but those are lies, and whatever. So I believe in looking at it all and taking the bits of truth, the
Yeah.
bits and bytes of truth out of all of this stuff you see online and stuff.
Mhm.
Now, I was the owner of one of the biggest bulletin boards in North America in 1987 till 96 or whatever, called the Landavid PBS. This was pre-internet. This is when we had control over our own servers and people called in. And I charged $15.99 a month We had 1,500 users. I was buying 500 megabyte hard drives at $500 a piece at the time. And we shared interests. I had competitions with people globally on one of the competitions that I won was how insert a video onto an HTML page with all of the things working. Now, I had Chinese, I had Indians, I had everybody competing to get this done in Windows 3, Windows 3.1.1, and I won that. Now,
Right
that code, if you looked at that code, it would be about 7 of your computer screens tall. Okay. Do you know what that code is today, which you use on your phone? It is 8 letters on a line. Okay. That's how video gets put onto a web page. And I sold that code 25 times for $20,000 or something. So, okay. So I know what I'm talking about. And the internet, over these years, like I trained Ottawa police officers in 91, 92 in 2 things. One was called a logic class, and the other one was PC, because you couldn't do the PC without taking the logic class. Now, I think these days when people are taking computer sciences and stuff, I don't know if they logic class on you anymore. But logically is how all of these computer programs work. These 8 different languages that I have up here. So now I've been sick for more than 10 years now, so I'm out of it, and I wouldn't be able to catch up anymore. But I was the beginning, at the cusp, before the internet. I helped it. I helped it explode. I sold my BBS system as an internet to similar or something like that. Yeah. So I get customers. There was 50 customers. So
nice.
It's not like I don't come from a background of knowledge. Okay. I do only have a grade 8 education as far as the government is concerned. But the government hires me without a diploma for a reason.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And maybe they seeked me out many times.
Yeah, I don't think the education is very good. It might actually deplete your genius, because kids go into school genius level and then they leave not genius anymore.
Well, that's
but
just
we could talk about that on another show.
Yeah, I was taught at a young age that the most important thing you can learn in your life is learn to teach yourself, because nobody's going to teach you, teachers or whatever, but it's yourself that's teaching you, right? So learn to teach yourself. And I didn't spend the time in high school and graduate and all of that with their career. I actually learned from doing practical and learning practical. So I appreciate you having me, and I know we're going on here now, so we're going to do another show, and I will get ready with some documents. And this was kind of I was away today. I didn't have everything ready, but at least people get an idea of where we're going to go on speaking about this.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you everyone at home for joining us. Please share with your friends, anyone that you think could benefit from our information. And I wish you all a great day. I look forward to having you on again, Dana. Thank you so much for joining me here on my little podcast, The Truth Table. It was an honor and a pleasure to talk to you and hear your story. And I look forward to the next time you're back.
Thank you, Paul. Have a great one.